ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। हरि ओम. Salutations to all. So in the Gita we see Bhagavan always tells Arjun about doing one's duty and ensuring that as a Kshatriya he does what he is supposed to do, and that is protect dharma and destroy the adharmic forces. Gurudev always said in his commentary that active resistance to evil is the creed of the Gita. So what happened in Pahalgam to the Hindus, to Bharatiyas, disturbed very deeply, and no matter how much world wants to turn a blind eye to it, the fact is it is based on religion. Terrorism has religion, and most of the attacks, if you will see, they belong to a particular religion because it springs from their ideology, and that ideology nobody wants to speak about that ideology. And especially we in Bharat, we have this delusion that all religions are same. They are not same. High time one wakes up to understand this fact, and anybody who is speaking about this, you see the media abroad and so many places, they have not even mentioned the word terrorist, not even mentioned the religion there. Even our media has not said that attack was, the word Hindu, they will not write. The word, their Islamic terrorism, they won't say. But it is born from that ideology. And so, first and foremost, for all those who have passed on, we will pray for their Sadgati. We will chant this chapter 2, verse number 11 to 30. These are the verses about reincarnation, about immortality of the soul, and we pray for the Sadgati of all of them. Innocent Hindus, they went there sincerely with the mindset that Kashmir is a part of Bharat, is a place where we want to ensure that this unemployment and all that ends. And these people have been sent there with a vested interest to destroy all that. So, first we will chant for them. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. अथ द्वितीयोऽध्यायः Shri Bhagavanuvacha. अशोच्यानन्वशोचस्त्वं प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाषसे गतासूनगतासूंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पण्डिताः न त्वेवाहं जातु नासं न त्वं नेमे जनाधिपाः न चैव न भविष्यामः सर्वे वयमतः परम् देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे Kaumaram yauvanam jara dehantarapraptihi धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्णसुखदुःखदाः आगमापायिनो नित्याः तान् स्थितिक्षस्व भारत यं हि न व्यथयन्त्येते पुरुषं पुरुषर्षभ समदुःखसुखं धीरं सोमृतत्वाय कल्पते नासतो विद्यते भावः नाभावो विद्यते सतः उभयोरपि दृष्टोऽन्तस्तु अनयोस्तत्त्वदर्शिभिः अविनाशि तु तद्विद्धि येन सर्वमिदं ततं विनाशमव्ययस्यास्य न कश्चित् कर्तुमर्हति अन्तवन्त इमे देहाः नित्यस्योक्ताः शरीरिणः अनाशिनो प्रमेयस्य तस्माद्युध्यस्व भारत य एनं वेत्ति हन्तारं यश्चैनं मन्यते हतम् उभौ तौ न विजानीतः हन्ति न हन्यते न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणः न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे वेदाविनाशिनं नित्यं य एनमजमव्ययम् कथं स पुरुषः पार्थ कं घातयति हन्तिकं वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि नैनं छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावकः न चैनं क्लेदयन्त्यापः अदाह्योऽयम् अक्लेद्यो शोष्य एव च नित्यः सर्वगतस्थाणुः अचलोऽयं सनातनः अव्यक्तोऽयमचिन्त्योऽयम् अविकार्योऽयमुच्यते नानुशोचितुमर्हसि अथ चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतं तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैवं शोचितुमर्हसि जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युः ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च तस्मादपरिहार्येऽर्थे न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि अव्यक्तादीनि भूतानि व्यक्तमध्यानि भारत अव्यक्तनिधनान्येव तत्र का परिदेवना आश्चर्यवत् पश्यति कश्चिदेनम् आश्चर्यवद्वदति तथैव चान्यः आश्चर्यवच्चैनमन्यः शृणोति श्रुत्वाप्येनं वेद न चैव कश्चित् देहि नित्यमवध्योऽयं देहे सर्वस्य भारत तस्मात् सर्वाणि भूतानि न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि. One more verse. स्वधर्ममपि चावेक्ष्य न विकम्पितुमर्हसि धर्म्याद्धियुद्धात् श्रेयोऽन्यत् क्षत्रियस्य न विद्यते. This 31st verse, Bhagavan says that keeping in mind what is one's own swadharma, also one should be steadfast in that and not navikampitum arhasi. One should not have tentativeness. In this context, Arjun is on the side of dharma. And so he says, for a Kshatriya, there is nothing better than that. He is on the side of dharma and he has to protect dharma. So the next part is this. See, the government will do various things. Already some measures have been put into place. But a strong reply has to come. And so we will do one japa. Invoke the grace of Bhagavan Narasimha. That all the armed forces and whoever is going to give that strong response, may the spirit of Bhagavan be with them, and may the people also have that spirit, that we are not going to sit taking this, so simply. Whatever has to be done needs to be done, and we have to stand united for that. If our own people, even today, even many people still think that terrorism has no religion, they are sleeping. In which world one is living? And look at the countries across the world. For their ideology and for their thought process, are they not protecting themselves, and then the war is happening or not? How long one will keep saying that ahimsa and silence and peace talks, and we keep encouraging. For some time, some things will get suspended. After a few months, again those things will resume with them. How long that goes on? Some strong response has to come, and the world is not going to do anything. It is we only who have to do it. If we keep waiting with the concurrence of everybody, nothing will happen. From the time of independence, we have seen now, till now, how many genocides have happened, and Hindu genocide the world doesn't recognize. Islamophobia, they have such a big term for that. What is about Hindu genocide? There is no recognition of Hindu genocide. Murshidabad, what all happened? How many Hindus killed there? Just for certain amendments which are made in an act which is so draconic, how many people were killed? In Nagpur, what happened? This is with a government which is elected by us, and so strongly, and still these people can get away with any of this. So what will be this thing then? If we don't have defense for ourselves, we are left by ourselves, honestly. So Narasimha spirit has to come in us also. It's not only armed forces. And we need to prepare ourselves to ensure that we don't go through. Otherwise, we will be slaughtered like this only. In this country, how much, who will come to protect? How much will they come to protect? So, I am doing this as my personal sadhana. For the next 21 days, I am going to do this 108 times japa of Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya. It is up to you if you want to do it. But I am going to do and pray. I am a sannyasi. For me, it is that I can pray to Bhagavan, and I can pray that every Hindu gets that spirit to protect themselves, to defend themselves, and also the armed forces get that strength to give a befitting reply, and may the government also have that vision and that clarity. So I am going to do that now, and then we will do our 13th chapter. So if you want to join, you can join. Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya. 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 ॐ नमो भगवते नरसिंहाय। ॐ नमो भगवते नरसिंहाय। ॐ नमो भगवते नरसिंहाय। ॐ नमो भगवते नरसिंहाय। भगवते नरसिंहाय। ॐ नमो 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 भगवते नरसिंहाय। भगवते नरसिंहाय। ॐ नमो 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 भगवते नरसिंहाय। नमो भगवते नरसिंहाय। ॐ 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 नमो भगवते नरसिंहाय भगवते नरसिंहाय ॐ नमो 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 भगवते नरसिंहाय कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि नारायणायेति समर्पयामि ॐ तत्सद्ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु You can chant any mantra that you like of your Ishta Devata in their Ugra Rupa. Suppose it is Shivji, then chant Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. Rudra is the Ugra Rupa of Shivji. If it is Devi, you can say the Bija mantra itself, Om Aim Hrim Klim Chamundaya Viche. That is the mantra. Like that, whichever one, whoever is your Ishta Devata, if you want to chant that mantra, you chant. Because this, what happens in these situations is, for some time there is, anger, resentment, sadness, all that. Again, after that, things continue normally. Again, people say Hindu, Muslim Bhaichara, Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb, all that continues. Again, after some time, some attack happens. The mindset has to be understood, the ideology has to be understood, what is written in that scripture is to be understood, ki whoever is not following that religion is to be killed. You read that. It doesn't sound nice, but it is written there. Open it and read. Then only one will understand that this is there, and that is creating so much disturbance across the world. And the world is turning a blind eye only to it. So demography wise, ideology wise, if you see, so many challenges are there. So many countries you see today, they are not what they were. Demography has changed completely. So one has to be very careful and alert. If one is not, then it's a matter of time, one will be finished. One will keep saying Sanatan hai, nahi hoga, destroy, but it will get if we are not alert. So come to this 13th chapter now. Chant those verses, 1st to 8th.
ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः। अथ त्रयोदशोऽध्यायः। क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञविभागयोगः। अर्जुन उवाच प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञमेव च एतत् वेदितुमिच्छामि ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव। श्रीभगवानुवाच इदं शरीरं कौन्तेय क्षेत्रमित्यभिधीयते एतद्यो वेत्ति तं प्राहुः क्षेत्रज्ञ इति तद्विदः।
क्षेत्रज्ञं चापि मां विद्धि
सर्वक्षेत्रेषु भारत क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयोर्ज्ञानं यत्तज्ज्ञानं मतं मम तत्क्षेत्रं यच्च यादृक् यद्विकारी यतश्च यत् स च यो यत्प्रभावश्च तत्समासेन मे शृणु। ऋषिभिर्बहुधा गीतं छन्दोभिर्विविधैः पृथक् ब्रह्मसूत्रपदैश्चैव हेतुमद्भिर्विनिश्चितैः महाभूतान्यहङ्कारः बुद्धिरव्यक्तमेव च इन्द्रियाणि दशैकं च पञ्चचेन्द्रियगोचराः इच्छा द्वेषः सुखं दुःखं सङ्घातश्चेतना धृतिः एतत्क्षेत्रं समासेन सविकारम् उदाहृतम् अमानित्वम् अदम्भित्वम् अहिंसा क्षान्तिरार्जवम् आचार्योपासनं शौचं स्थैर्यम् आत्मा विनिग्रहः।
So, how many values we saw so far? Amanitvam is humility, adambhitvam, non-pretentiousness, ahimsa, non-violence, kshanti, forgiveness, arjavam, straightforwardness, then acharya upasanam, serving the teacher, shaucham, cleanliness, purity, Sthiryam is steadfastness. Now, Sthiryam Atma Vinigraha, self-control. So, self-control in this context, we will take it up as sense mastery. Self-control can also be of emotions, it can also be of the thinking. But we will take it in the context of sense mastery, because sense mastery, if one doesn't have, one will not be able to turn within. Senses are extroverted. By nature, senses will be extroverted. Mind goes out through the senses. And through that, the mind wants happiness through whatever, food and music and all kinds of activities. Shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha, all that. Now, if the mind keeps on going extroverted, it will be draining to the mind also. And so, if one wants to know the truth, one must have the right ability to engage the senses and withdraw from the senses, both. That's why the example given in the second chapter is of the tortoise, who can engage and withdraw. Sense mastery should be one of the goals of life itself. If one doesn't have that goal, sense mastery, then the discipline will not be there to do sadhana. And more importantly, even if one is sitting for japa or meditation, the mind will wander into the sense objects. If you see in the Samudra Manthan story, when they start doing the churning, they put the, which mountain is put in the ocean of milk? Which is the mountain which they churn? Not the Meru. Mandar mountain. And which is the mountain that comes out to offer Hanumanji some fruits and rest and all that? Mainak. These three mountains, people mix them up and put anywhere. कोई मैनाक बोलेगा, कोई मेरू बोलेगा, कोई मंदार बोलेगा, किसी भी चीज़ के लिए. Meru is a different thing. Meru is the golden peak, Sumeru Parvat. Bhagavatam gives that. In that 5th canto it will come. From the top of Meru only that Gangaji flows and all that. So it's a different mountain, Meru. Mainak is in the ocean. And this Mandar Parvat is that medicinal one which was put in the ocean of milk to do the churning. So when they started churning, what happened? The mountain slipped. That's when Bhagwan becomes the Kurma and he goes into the ocean and he supports that entire churning on his back. Symbolically, what does that mean? Even if one is doing churning in the mind, the reflection one is doing between the positive and the negative thoughts, between the thoughts of body identification and Vedantic thoughts, that churning is happening. The base of that churning will be what? Sense control. See, Sattvic mind is that milky ocean. Knowledge of the Upanishads is that mountain. So our body identification and noble thoughts, whatever we have, positive thoughts, negative thoughts, body identification and Vedantic thoughts, there will be a churning that is happening. But the foundation of that has to be sense control. If sense control is not there, nothing we can achieve, especially Vedanta, impossible. So if somebody says, I am not the body, eat, drink, be merry, how does it matter? Life is anyway short. This is all an illusion. Why to even live in discipline? Nowadays people talk about it in a different way. They will say, I live in a spontaneous way. I don't believe in limiting myself. I take things as they come. I go with the flow. So today morning the flow said, sleep. So I slept. Tonight the flow said binge watch. So I binge watched. Tomorrow night some friend called, so I was just talking. So what to do, Swamiji? Nibhana padta hai, relationship hai. Bura lagta hai unko. So I spoke till 3 a.m. So I missed my morning sadhana. शिव जी को बुरा लगेगा वो नहीं. शिव जी तो अपने ही है, ठीक है. मेरी फ्रेंड को बहुत बुरा लगेगा. 3 बजे तक I will talk. Then miss the morning thing. Why? Just happened, it's flow. Sense control, if it is not there, forget spiritual evolution. Nothing will happen. One can do 100 malas of japa. Not one step one will progress in that japa. If this control is not there, discipline is not there. And that's why Atma Vinigraha, sense mastery, is the foundation actually of all achievements. Any great achiever, if you see, will they be indisciplined or they will be disciplined? Without discipline, nothing can be achieved. And if you read first book of Gurudev, in the sense, first book in the scheme, in that self-unfoldment, when he writes about Brahmacharya, you read in that, one line will come in that, powerful line. Life is a death-long discipline. ये घुसा देना चाहिए मन में सीकर को. Life is a death-long discipline. Every single day, and discipline is the foundation of success. Our conditioning is discipline will make me rigid, discipline will break my spontaneity, discipline will make me very, miss out on enjoyments of life. If I want to achieve anything great, I must have discipline. Simple. Weight loss also one needs discipline. One man said, मैंने वजन घटाने का निश्चय लिया, तभी मेरे सामने गाजर का हलवा आया. मैंने गाजर के हलवे को देखा, गाजर के हलवे ने मुझे देखा, और गाजर के हलवे का वजन कम हो गया. That's what keeps happening. I will do it, and after 3 days again back to puss. Life is a death-long discipline, and the person who said it lived it. 42 years he was living in discipline. Every single day, morning, get up early, write the letters, do his puja, do his japa, and then do, morning class, evening class. Through the day, full 18, 19 hours a day he was working tirelessly. 42 years. What is that discipline? Huh? Think about it. That is how we built up this entire Chinmay mission. And not that he did not enjoy life. He enjoyed life also. And the way he used to eat, sometimes though he will tease those people who are around him. Some of the South Bombay ladies who are elite and ekdam tip-top and all that, they will come to this, Siddhabari ashram, and there will be some Kerala meal there, which will be served, and payasam is put on that banana leaf and all that, and they don't know how to eat, but he will do like this and lick, and they look at him like that, what is this? Because they need cutlery. He will lick, and sometimes wantedly he will allow it to go down and he'll lick like that. Show to them. He used to enjoy also, because enjoyment doesn't require you to break dharma. That is another stupidity in our head. Enjoyment means break all discipline. Why? In 7th chapter we saw, that dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. I am that enjoyment which is not against dharma. Being in dharma, one can enjoy so much. So the point is, discipline is very important. Sense control is the key in that. Each one we have to find out in which area I have to develop sense control. For some people it will be seeing. Today it is phone. Go on getting addicted to the phone, tablet, whatever it is. Somewhere it is said that earlier days, when people used to sleep, body used to get rest. Now when people sleep, phone gets rest. Otherwise the phone is full time on. One is going on and on with phone. Going to toilet with phone. It has become so common. Public is going to toilet. Arey bhai, phone chhod ke to jao andar. No. हमको constipation है स्वामी, we have to sit there 20 minutes, so what to do? We'll sit with the phone. अरे constipation का इलाज करो. फोन के साथ जाके अंदर बैठा है वो. I used to really wonder, that people have library inside their bathroom earlier. Now libraries are not required because phone is there. People used to have bookshelf in. I said, ये कौन सी जगह जाके बैठ रहे यहाँ पे? एक तो माँ सरस्वती है, we don't touch that Saraswati with our feet and we do all this, और बुक रखी है अंदर वहाँ पे. अभी फोन आ गया. You just think how much the attachment. So one has to identify which level. Am I attached to things which I see? What do I like to hear? Attachment is there to hearing also. If somebody praises, one goes on and on and on. Some type of music, whatever it is, Food, though, definitely so many attachments. Health is not good, but still one wants to eat certain things. Same way. So, seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, touching, in all. Where do I need to develop self-control? It can even be in the waking up and sleeping pattern. Even today, I struggle with that many times. But the struggle is there, so one is keep putting the effort to get into a routine, to sleep early, wake up early. That circadian rhythm, if it gets broken, it takes long time to get set. So the point is, one has to identify which area I need self-control and commit oneself to that. Sense mastery is an expression of self-love. See, I don't remember if I told here or somewhere else in another satsang. People think that there is no concept of self-love in Sanatana Dharma. There is. If you live in sense discipline, that is self-love. Only then my maximum potential will manifest. Sense mastery is an expression of self-love. Engaging the senses and allowing them to do wildly whatever they feel like doing, that is not self-love. Training them, disciplining them, engaging them in things which are good for them, and stopping what is not good, all that is self-love. So, sense mastery is the foundation first. Second, it is not suppression of the senses or surrender to the senses. It is not complete suppression, complete expression. It is sublimation. That is the in-between part. And that's what is the tortoise. What is adharmic or what is not good for my evolution, I say a firm no to that. No, nothing doing, not even a little. Why should I take even a little? What is not good for my body? Stale, rotten, absolutely putrefied food which is stinking. Will you say, thoda try kar leta hun? Does one say that? No. In case of wine, one may say that. The more putrefied that is, the more better it is and more costly it is. That's what people do. But in other things, we don't know. Because we know if we eat that, what happens? Some stomach infection, some problem, I don't want to eat. But what is not good for me, a little bit also, why should I take then? Because the conditioning that is cool. So with certain things which are not good for me, our conditioning is like that, it is cool to do it, so one is doing it. Seeker says, no, this is not good. What is the benchmark? What helps me to increase Sattva Guna is good for me. What increases Rajo Guna and Tamo Guna is not. For a seeker, that is a benchmark. So say no to what is harmful. Delay the gratification in what is permissible. This, if you remember, I have done even in second chapter. Same points. When we did this Sthita Prajna Lakshan, in that the same points I have given earlier also. That delay the gratification for that which is not harmful for us. Meaning don't enjoy impulsively as a victim, enjoy as a master. So if one wants to eat, let us say some good food, one is doing some important work, then say not now, after half an hour. A lot of times the chances are that desire only will drop. And if it continues, then go and engage in it. At least one would have engaged in a spirit of control, mastery. That one didn't fall for it immediately. Moderation, very important. Balance has to be there through the whole day, through the whole week. No extremes. Otherwise what happens? Somebody says, I will not eat properly, or I will do upvas for some 10 days and torture oneself with that. And then after 10 days, feast oh feast. Make up for all that which is lost. That extremes is not required at all. So moderation and find out sattvic forms of entertainment. Now these are for sense mastery, just some points. There can be so many other points. Now that is verse number 8. Now we go to the 9th one. Indriyartheshu vairagyam anahankara evacha janma mrityu jara vyadhihi. Sorry, it is one compound. So, janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanu darshanam. It is one full word. Indriyartheshu vairagyam. This is quality number 10. Indriyartheshu vairagyam. Vairagyam means dispassion. So dispassion from the sense objects. Indriyartheshu vairagyam. 10th quality. 11th, anahankara. No ego means doership. In this context, anahankara means doership. Ahankara is doership. Earlier, amanitvam was humility. Then adambhitvam was non-pretentiousness. And this is anahankara, freedom from doership. That is quality number 11. Then 12 is this whole thing, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. These are 4 states of the body. Janma is birth, Mrityu, death, Jara, old age, and Vyadhi, disease. To see what? To see these 2 things, Dukkha and Dosha, in these 4, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. To see the pain, Dukkha of it, and Dosha, limitation of it. And not to see it once, Anudarshanam, again and again to see Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, Dukkha, Dosha. Continuously see that. How painful is the birth, death, old age, disease. Now this is the basic meaning. So now coming to this 10th one. Indriyartheshu vairagyam. Dispassion from the sense objects. So it is not running away from the sense objects, but switch off the mental preoccupation and brooding on them. As a result of that, if I am dropping the sense object, that is dispassion. There is a difference between dispassion and detachment. Detachment, what is the word for detachment? Anasakti. That will come ahead also. Asakti ranabhishwangaha, there it will come. But we have to be clear, we interchange these words, dispassion and detachment. Detachment means one may have to stay amidst those things or people or situations and yet have no attachment to it. No psychological feeling that without this I can't be happy. That state is called detachment. The example given for detachment is the lotus leaf. Is born in water, stays in water, goes back to water. That is detachment. What is dispassion? Dispassion is vairagya. Vairagya means based on vivek of what is real and unreal, when I have that conviction to drop the unreal. That dropping is 2 ways. One is in the mind, no value for it at all. And second is you literally drop that object or that people and then go. So it is said, Upanishad says, Jabala Upanishad says, Yadahareva virajet, tadahareva pravrajet. That day when you get full dispassion, that day itself you leave the family, leave the world, go. Seek that one supreme truth. So there only literally will go. Like what Prince Siddhartha did, or what Shankaracharya ji did, any great Mahatma who had taken sannyas, drop, gone. So if we take the example of childhood toys, one literally gives up playing with childhood toys. That is dispassion. If one plays with it while entertaining a child, just to make that child feel happy, then that is called detachment. Like Gurudev's example when he said that he chewed the world enough and he spat it out. That is called dispassion or detachment. That is called dispassion. Janak Maharaj living in the kingdom, ruling Mithila, is dispassion or detachment? That is detachment. One important point to understand is the person who has detachment also has dispassion. It's not an excuse, okay? Because people use that as an excuse saying कि स्वामी जी छोड़ के जाना तो कितना आसान है, हम वहीं पे रहते हैं. Staying there we live in self-control. That is very difficult. Living amidst all the temptations, that is most difficult. If one is genuinely compelled to stay because of whatever circumstances, duty, etc., is a different point. But many times people don't want to leave. They don't have the courage to leave. Then they justify it saying, no, I have to be, my family requires, I am there. Still I am very detached from them. Now and then only I indulge. That is escapism. So detachment, a person who says I am detached will have dispassion also. And the person who has dispassion also will have detachment. If it is full dispassion proper, will also have detachment, so that if one has to engage, one will engage, but there is no attachment in it. Because the value for it is not there inside. So, we have to be clear about dispassion and detachment. Giving up the world is not possible by itself. You can't run away from the world. Even a person who drops the family, work, etc. is still staying in the world. So give up what belongs to us, and that is our attachment to those things and the pleasurable thoughts, fanciful imaginations we have entertained about the things. That we have to give up. How that we will give up? By understanding clearly through Vivek. So absence of craving for sense pleasures, that is called dispassion. There is no craving. One doesn't feel tempted, no? One doesn't have to fight the tempting thoughts. Does anybody have to fight the tempting thoughts about marbles of childhood? No, the tempting thought only doesn't come. If the thought comes and I have to apply Pratipaksha Bhavana, etc., means there is still value for it. The thought only doesn't come. Those who have Tivra Vairagya, the example given in our scriptures is, for them, the entire world is like Kakavishta. Kakavishta means crow shit. Will anybody have temptation about crow shit? Fanciful imagining about crow shit? Nothing. Disgust. That is the next line, what he says. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha dosha anudarshanam. We will come to that. The point is, there is no craving. One has to come to that state where the craving is only not there. So what is that where my mind has craving even now? I have to identify. It craves for X, Y, Z things, where it thinks happiness is there still. Then I have to do my Pratipaksha Bhavana to get detachment, to get dispassion from it. So enjoy the objects, but don't get enjoyed by them. Enjoy as a master, not as a slave. That is detachment actually. I put it here so that we are clear about dispassion and detachment. So dispassion without intellectual discrimination is escapism. Vivek is the cause. Vairagya is the effect. If Vivek is not done properly, one is just running away from duties, from work, from society, then that is called escapism. Prince Siddharth renouncing is not called escapism because it is based on Vivek. If, let us say, Shankaracharya ji, at 8 years he took sannyas. It is not escapism. It is based on Vivek. So Vivek has to be there very clearly. Then Vairagya is, so am I ready to renounce? If somebody asks, then how to judge? First question is that, what is your renunciation based on? Is it based on Vivek, that there is eternal truth and there is ephemeral world? 1. 2, have I seen through the ephemeral world? I don't have to literally go through every single thing. Maybe in past karmas, past janmas I have gone through. And so I have enough vairagya that I don't have craving for it. So if I don't have craving for it, then what will my mind want? How intensely does it want to know the truth and truth alone? That mumukshutam is strong. If vairagya is strong, mumukshutam will be strong. And I am more interested to do sadhana, to withdraw, to be absorbed in the self, to learn to, think about the Lord selflessly, single-pointedly. Then I am ready. But if my going away is based on No, in the world there is too much of clash, happy life, nobody is married happily. I don't see any examples, so I don't want to get married. Okay, that is your choice, don't want to get married. Then what do you want to do? कुछ नहीं, सब कुछ त्याग के हम साधु बाबा बन जाएंगे. And then do what? आश्रम खोलेंगे, इतने सारे फॉलोअर्स आएंगे, ये खोलेंगे, वो करेंगे. If that is genuine service attitude, different point. But so many people take it up as though it is one career. Yeah. And unfortunately in today's world, so people talk like that also, and the youngsters getting deluded also with that, saying कि तुम MBA करके क्या करोगे, तुम अपना startup करके क्या करोगे. You become a sadhu, start an ashram and employ all these MBAs to work for you. And then you can make $1 billion. What sadhutva in that? You don't have, what is the base of sadhutva is this Vivek Vairagya. Nothing tempts, nothing shakes that person, and person lives in simplicity. Doesn't live in some, what you call that, ostentatiousness. Wants everything which is, what you call, very fancy and expensive and imported and all that stuff. Even utilizes something for service because there is some quality in it, that's a different point, but otherwise nothing, one doesn't want. That is the basis of renunciation, that is sannyas there. Otherwise the mind is only escaping and will create another new samsara. So dispassion without intellectual discrimination is mere escapism. Now why is this vairagya so important? When we think of vairagya, people think, no, vairagya is not possible for us, it is only for sadhus. Vairagya. उनको वैराग्य नाम से वैराग्य हो जाता है. नहीं, वैराग्य नहीं हो सकता, वो आपके लिए. True enjoyment is to enjoy without craving before or after. That is actually vairagya. There is no craving for that sense object before. If it has come, if it is dharmic, if it is not, out of any attachment, one engages in it and there is no craving after it. Our mind doesn't work like this. No? We plan sense enjoyments. जो spontaneously आता है वो तो उसके ऊपर है. हम एक्स्ट्रा प्लान करते हैं उसके लिए. ये संडे को हम यहाँ जाएंगे, ये खाएंगे, इस तरह पिएंगे, यहाँ पर ट्रैवल करेंगे. फुल प्लान विल बी देयर. एंड पीपल प्लान टू ईट फूड ऑल्सो लाइक दैट, कि आज दोपहर को वी हैव टू हैव अ फुल मील, सो ब्रेकफास्ट मत करो. स्टमक तो आपका उतना ही है भाई, बट नहीं, दबा के खाना है ना, इसलिए पहले नहीं खाएंगे. So one plans before the sense enjoyment, and after the sense enjoyment is over, now to with photos and all, one relives that. What a nice time we had. And then tell 10 other people, this is how I enjoyed, you are missing out, if you go here, you should enjoy this. So they will also go. Because the mind has enough time to do all this. One is playing, these are also toys. In different ways, but these are toys only. How long will the mind do all this? Seeker needs vairagya because of this. Because the mind will engage us in all this only. Full life goes in this sense enjoyment planning. And the best part is at the end of it, tripti nahi hua. Everything we enjoyed, Swamiji, but the but one list is it doesn't end only. So, the strength to give up the cravings that lead to sorrow and turn within to discover true happiness, that is vairagya. Bhajagovindam says that, no? Kasya sukham na karote viraga. Somebody thinks that vairagya is a dull state. No, vairagya is the real state of happiness. Because I don't depend on anything. There is no craving in the mind for sense objects. What a free mind it is. That mind really enjoys things as they are. Every moment. Same thing also may come again and again. But that mind which is not imagining will enjoy it in full totality. We need new combinations. स्वामी जी डोसा क्या खाना है, नया वैरायटी बनाएंगे. शेजवान डोसा, चाइनीज डोसा, पाव भाजी डोसा, पिज्ज़ा डोसा, चॉकलेट डोसा. द अदर डे आई सॉ डोसा में चॉकलेट लगा के खा रहे भाई. व्हाट इज, सांभर चटनी के साथ. बट व्हाई? नया वैरायटी. पीपल वांट वैरायटी इन द वर्ल्ड ऑफ. करते जाओ, बट द पॉइंट इज कितना वैरायटी, क्या करोगे? एट सम पॉइंट इन टाइम द माइंड सेज बस हो गया भाई. देयर इज नो एंड टू दिस. द फास्टर वन रियलाइजेस कि देयर इज नो एंड टू दिस, वन विल टर्न विद इन. It will come now. Why vairagya के बाद how to develop vairagya na, in that it will come now. So my point is this: vairagya when one has, that person only truly enjoys actually. Why? Because the mind of that person is here and now. We enjoy based on the imagination we have created. And many times the full flop show happens. One sees some advertisement, something people have told, and then builds up so much of hype, and then one goes and then say, "Kya bakwas tha? Chha, it was too overhyped. Unnecessary. I spent so much money and went there." Arey, nobody has to overhype anything. World by itself is like that. If you think about it, overhyping की तो जरूरत ही नहीं है extra. What has been told itself is like that. Even our regular normal enjoyment is also like that only. But no. Mind is not ready to accept that. So the point is, when a person understands this, the state of vairagya is the state of freedom, in that you enjoy. Because there is no preconceived notion. You enjoy how it is supposed to be. At that point, this is how it is. You enjoy. One is not having a preconceived notion, nor one is allowing an impression to be formed later on कि ये ऐसा होना चाहिए था, ऐसा नहीं हुआ. Or one enjoys and then one says कि oh, it was so good, so again brood over it. You know, our memory is like that. Memory gives rise to two things: sorrow and fanciful imagination. So if I brood over whatever I liked, I keep brooding, it will create new desire. And sometimes what was not a pleasant experience, if I think about that, then it will bring sorrow. Memory is like that. Vairagya, one who has, doesn't live in memory, who lives in the now. And that's why he says that kasya sukham na karoti viraga. Every single sukha out there is actually a small reflection of the infinite bliss that is our nature. And imagine, what are we settling for? Little bit of temporary pleasure, which also is draining in energy. For that, I am leaving the bliss of my nature. The bliss of Brahmaji is supposed to be the highest bliss. And that is one drop in the ocean of bliss that the realized person experiences. You read the Taittiriya Upanishad, full description is there of levels of happiness. So the point is this: vairagya is not a dull state, boring state, I am missing out. That's what people think. If I don't let go of the temporary, I will not discover the permanent. That freedom should be there in the mind to drop. And vairagya also will bring fearlessness, because no attachment, nothing in the world is there on which my happiness depends. So there is no fear of losing. When I am attached to something, then I am fearful of losing. If I get it, I am scared of losing. If I don't get it, then I get angry. Vairagyameva abhayam. You know, this is from Vairagya Shatakam. Bhartrihari, he wrote that. Bhoge roga bhayam. When one goes on indulging in sense pleasures, then there is a fear of falling sick. Bhoge roga bhayam. Kule chuti bhayam. If one is attached to the name of my dynasty, my family, then there is always fear, I should not do anything which will bring bad name. Roge bhoge roga bhayam, kule chuti bhayam, vitte nripalat bhayam. If a person has money, then one is scared of income tax, government. Now it is terrible. If you see, privacy नाम की चीज ही नहीं है. Your emails can be scanned by the government now, straight. What you are doing on Instagram, how are you buying things, from all that they will find out your income and your spending, proportion hai, nahi hai, and they can tax you on that. So, Vinte Nripalat Bhayam. The GST we were, what you call that? UPI we were using so far. अब UPI पे भी वो लोग चार्ज चालू करने वाले हैं. Again people will come back to cash. This goes on. So Vittyendrapalat Bhayam. That whole thing he gives, such a big list he gives, that there is fear in every single thing. Sarvam vastu bhayanvitam bhuvi nranam vairagyameva abhayam. Every single thing in this world is fraught with fear except vairagya. Think about it, what all fear does to us. And in human life, so many things to be scared of. The cause of all that is some attachment. That's all. One who doesn't have any attachment, no fear. So one may live in the world, one may want to, and that's the reason why I have to have dispassion and detachment. Because otherwise my life will be fearful only. I will be scared of everything. Right from the neighbor to the dog to the government to everyone. Full day just spending in some or the other fear. What is the life? So he says, Vairagyameva bhayam. One with passion lives for oneself, one with dispassion truly loves and lives for all. You see how many great Mahatmas, when they have given up selfishness, they have done things for the society. Concentration and focus also will increase with Vairagya. Think about it, when somebody wants to pass an exam, now how much ever the IPL may be going on and my favorite team is playing and this and that, but I have an exam, I will need to study. Automatically withdrawal will happen or not. That's a limited example. But if my goal is mukti, then I will focus, saying I want to know the truth. Why do I engage in anything else then? And consistency also comes with Vairagya. Because when one is doing japa, sadhana, bhajan, puja, whatever it is, if Vairagya is not there, consistency cannot come. One will just get distracted easily. Some phone call, some message, some, tempting thing will happen and gone. Consistency cannot come. Vairagya is very important for consistency. How deep is our craving for sense pleasure? This is the picture for that. What do you understand in this? God is there to save. But how does it show illusion of sense pleasures? How many factors are there which are clearly going to kill him, destroy him? Elephant is pulling down the tree. Rats are nibbling away at that branch. This fellow is hanging. How much his arm strength will remain, one doesn't know. Snakes are all down. It is a well there. He is going to fall. Bhagwan is giving him a hand, but this fellow won't take that hand. In this type of a terrible situation, honey which is up there, and there are bees which will come and sting him also. He wants to lick that honey which is falling from that. This picture, we may laugh at this fellow, but this is our life only. Death is imminent, na? किसको पता कब कौन मरेगा कहाँ पे? No idea. And 100% one has this thing, that guarantee is there ki any time. What logic people think is, Swamiji, anyway we have to die, na? Why don't we die sweetly? That's the logic. कि मरना तो ऐसे भी है, तो हनी खा खा के ही मरे. But what one misses out is Bhagwan is there. With one hand, if I hold on to Bhagwan, I will realize immortal nature. Khatam ho gaya baat. So it appears very smart, कि अरे what are you doing sadhana, spirituality, this, that. Just enjoy. Anyways, life is temporary. People are going to die. Why are you depriving yourself, You enjoy and then die. Then what will happen? Rebirth will happen. And then come back again. And which world one will come back? Worse than this. So, if a person understands this properly, then one will have vairagya to discover that which is infinite. That the choice is there, no? Human being has a choice. I can hold the hand of God, or I can just waste my time in sense pleasure. No, Swamiji, with the tongue we will take the sense pleasure, with the hand we will hold on to Bhagavan. That and all logic people give. You try doing that. It won't work only. Because the tongue will look, the eyes will look at the honey falling. Bhagavan's hand will not even be visible. ये picture में दिख रहा है यहाँ पे. In daily life that doesn't happen. Bhoga is so much vritti that one is turned extrovert. Anand which is inside, one doesn't recognize it. If one recognizes that Anand within, first of all, one would not have run outside. So, Gurudev now gives one way to turn the mind within. See these analogies, okay? 3 powerful analogies he gives. At the end of it, not at the end of it, while reading it only, you will be disgusted. I am warning you. This is what you call a trigger warning. Viewer discretion is advised. Don't tell me afterwards, अरे मेरा तो रात का नींद खराब हो गया स्वामी जी. It is a fact. You read how much ever I hype, it will not do any justice to that. This is a fact what Gurudev has written here. See this. A man of true detachment would run after sense objects with as much enthusiasm as one would run to embrace a dead queen's rotten body. With as much satisfaction as one would decide to quench one's thirst by drinking the pus flowing out from a leper's wound. With as much readiness as one would enter a boiling cauldron of molten iron to take a refreshing bath. देखो सबके मुंह. But this is the fact. This is what one is doing. Enthusiasm, one would run to embrace a dead queen's rotten body. This is the pleasure for the opposite gender. One wants that pleasure. Na? It is that body, dead body only actually. Etan mamsa vasadi vikaram manasi vichintaya varam varam. As much satisfaction as one would decide to quench one's thirst by drinking the pus flowing from a leper's wound. Terrible. How will one ever do that? But that's what one is doing. All kinds of things which are horrible to eat, drink, one is engaging in those. And as much readiness as one would enter a boiling cauldron of molten iron to take a refreshing bath. What is the womb of the mother? Is this only? Heat na inside, terrible. But नहीं स्वामी जी हमको तो वापस आना है, अगला जन्म भी, क्योंकि अभी तो बहुत सारे देश देखने बाकी है. अगले जन्म में जब आओगे तब तक वो देश रहेगा कि नहीं वो ही नहीं पता है, और कौन सी अवस्था में रहेगा वो भी नहीं पता है. But one wants to come. How many people want moksha? Interesting, no? Vidurji, he told Bhagavan that Bhagavan, you are so compassionate, you are giving moksha to everybody. Why are people not taking moksha? He said, you go and find out. He went. Different people he went and asked. Everybody has some or the other excuse. Somebody says, I have to bring up my family. Somebody says that I want to say enjoy here and there, and somebody says I want power. Somebody says I want position. I want to go to Swargaloka. I want to go to, all kinds of places. So he thought that all this, people are all jivas are in such delusion, moh maya. Then he was passing by and he saw a pig. He said, this pig is bichara suffering, in that filth and dirt and all kinds of terrible smelling place. At least the pig will be wanting mukti. So he went and asked the pig that, Bhagwan is giving moksha, will you like to come? He said, no. Why? Because my piglets are all here and this is what I like. The piglet and the pig, all of them, they love that. So they will be in that only. Then Vidurji understood that this is how the world is. Even if Bhagwan is giving mukti just like that, nobody wants. How many people want mukti? How much ever one suffers. Nowadays people say, toxic relationship, get out of toxic relationship. World itself is toxic, Baba. By itself, if you think. It's not only one relationship. From infinite standpoint, world itself is a toxic place to live. Bhagwan said earlier, we have done. What did he say that? Anityam, asukham, lokam, imam, prapya, bhajasvamam. There is no nityatva here, there is no permanency here, and asukham, there is no sukha here at all. And now ahead he will say dukkha dosha, there is full of dukkha and dosha only. But no, one doesn't want. So just imagine this. If you read this every day, you had it. Vairagya will come. Now how to develop Vairagya? Vairagya is not opposite of Raga, it is neutralizing Raga and Dvesh. So first thing to turn within is identify what is my attachment and aversion. Neutralize it. How? All that I am attached to, should do Pratipaksha Bhavana. That is the next point. Use discriminative Viveka and invoke Pratipaksha Bhavana. Reflect on the pain of that pleasure. If I like something a lot, suppose sleep, or keeping up till late, see the pain of that. See what all it makes me do, how I compromise with my ideals, what all I should be achieving which it prevents me from achieving, and how much guilt it will bring, how much pressure it will bring on my mind, and what all it will make me feel about myself. My self-esteem will fall low. Is it worth it for that temporary moment of pleasure? See, this is not only intellectually thinking. Pratipaksha Bhavana is not intellectually thinking. That word is Bhavana. Intellectually I think of the pain of the pleasure, but feeling I have to feel that disgust, this is what this is making me do. My attachment is making me so weak that it makes me act against my conviction. Gita, that's what third chapter said, no? Arjun, when he asked that question that what makes a person sin? In that Bhagavan said, Kama esha, Krodha esha, Rajoguna samudbhava. And Rajoguna main quality is attachment. Rajo ragatmakam vidhi, Trishna sanga samudbhavam. So my attachment is the main cause of my sorrow. And how it bashes me up. Literally every time one engages in that attachment, compromises, it is literally like one bashing one has got. Fall down. Again one gets up, again bashed, again fall. This goes on. And what it does to the self-esteem is the most terrible thing. A person will keep feeling very, very weak. Because one knows what is right, one is not able to do that. And one knows what is wrong, one is engaging in that. Again and again and again. If I see this properly with my feeling, is bas, enough now, I don't want to live like this, then I will change. That is Vairagya. So that is called Pratipaksha Bhavana. That's why I read books like Vairagya Shatakam, Bhaja Govindam and reflect. After identifying what is my raga and what is my dvesha also, whatever I hate, that also occupies my mind. So I need to invoke forgiveness. Let go. And drop that egoistic thing. Because our ego only prevents us from forgiving. We saw that earlier, so I won't go into the detail. Dvesha has to be dropped. Again remember, where there has to be the duty to be done, where the fight has to happen, it has to happen. Like Pandavas have to fight the Kauravas as a duty, but no dvesha in the heart. Say firmly no to temptations. Don't get into tempting situations and struggle to fight it. No. That is Vairagya. Why get into a tempting situation? Not required at all. Some more ways. Every pleasure is pain in disguise. This will give Tivra Vairagya. Every single pleasure is pain in only disguise. That's the nature of this samsara. We may think it is pleasurable now, and it may give temporary pleasure, no doubt. But it will leave a craving. It would have still made an impression. It is still based on the fact that I think that happiness comes from outside. So many things. If you go on analyzing, every pleasure is pain in disguise only. And that's why Buddha said, Sarvam kshanikam kshanikam, sarvam dukkham dukkham. Every single thing which is temporary is the cause of sorrow. And the only one thing that is not temporary is Brahman. That alone is the source of happiness. Last one for today. How to develop Vairagya? Develop detachment from the body first. Vairagya cannot come if I am very attached to the body and I feel I am the body. That's why in the Vivek Chudamani, Shankaracharya ji says, Dehadi Brahma Paryante Anitye Bhoga Vastuni. That the definition of Vairagya is that Tad Vairagyam Jihasaya. There is no craving for sense objects where one drops this craving. Tad Vairagyam Jihasaya Darshana Shravanadibihi. Towards all the things that one is seeing and hearing. Meaning all sense objects. Beginning from where? We think Vairagya is from the world outside. First it is from the body. Because all enjoyment is for the body only, no? I want to sleep long for the body's pleasure. I want to eat good food for the body's pleasure. I want to talk to people for the body's pleasure. Everything, most of it is for body's pleasure. Then it goes to mind and intellect. But body finally. Success of a program also is decided based on what, honestly? Camp. You think about it. Next camp, I will do this experiment. I will give you terrible food. Horrible place to stay. And you have to attend the camp. Sadhana I will teach nicely. Meditation I will give nicely. I will give you good opportunities to do satsang, reflection, all that. But food will be terrible. Bed will be horrible. In one room, 10 people. Next camp. How many will come? जितने आ रहे हैं उसमें से 2-3 बस, बाकी सब no. उतना तो देना चाहिए खाना. See that is, yeah. See, you are preparing ना. कोई ये नहीं सोच रहा कि कर लेंगे स्वामी जी, ब्रह्मानंद जो मिलेगा उसके आगे ये सब क्या है. Doesn't matter. मिल तो रहा है. The mind doesn't think like that. The mind always thinks पहले खा लेंगे, बाद में खा लेंगे, ले जाएंगे, वहाँ से आश्रम से चोरी छुपे निकल जाके कुछ खा के लेके आ जाएंगे, किसी को बोल देंगे, स्विगी से बुला लेंगे. ये सब दिमाग सोचता है. That's proving my point only. कि finally that is what mind is wanting. The success of it is only in that. स्वामी जी पैसे दे के आए ना, इसलिए. अरे तुम कितने भी पैसे दो, ये जो टीचिंग मिलेगी ना वैराग्य की उस कैंप में, वो कोई भी पैसा खरीद नहीं सकता अगर जी लिए उस कैंप की अवस्था में. तो विदाउट क्रेविंग. बट पीपल वांट वसूल, पैसा वसूल करना है. आश्रम में भी हमने जितना पैसा दिया उतना हमको पैसा वसूल चाहिए, तो आश्रम में क्यों आए? जाओ बिजनेस करो कहीं पे. I'm not saying we will start doing all that, but I'm saying the mindset. One Bal Vihar class, we started doing Bal Vihar in South Bombay, where we did not have a big center that time and we needed to hire venues. So we used to hire some venue, and for venue cost we'll charge people. Otherwise Bal Vihar is free. Venue cost ke liye we used to charge people. And what was the charge, 1200 per year. This I'm talking about 10 years back. 1200 per year and 30 classes in that. Okay, so you calculate how much is the cost per class? 40 rupees. And there was a mother who came and argued with us saying that आपने आज का class cancel किया because it was raining. Monsoon time, it was raining and high tide alert was there. So we had to cancel the class. This woman came and said, या तो आपको क्लास करना पड़ेगा सब्सटीट्यूट में या हमको 40 रुपए वापस दो. Calculativeness मतलब इतनी. So people are there like that to do all this, and that's the mind thinks like that only. So point is this कि develop detachment from the body. वेदांत नहीं सीख सकते नहीं तो. That's why Vivek has to be done ना कि I am not this body. It is difficult, no doubt. Satsang, Vivek, and reading the lives of all these great masters who have lived beyond body identification and invoke Bhagwan's grace. 100% it will come. If we do all this now, before what I said, neutralize Raga and Dvesh, Pratipaksha Bhavana, then this will happen. We don't do any of that now, then just to say that I am not the body will not work. Because I am not the body is the knowledge built on the foundation of all this. If that is not there, then I am not the body will not work. Why not? What do you want in life? Practically it is 100% possible. I eat sattvic food only. And these are grahasthis only who are sending me. And they are very happy to make it and give it to you also if you want. In your house also they will happily make in your house if you tell your mother that I will eat sattvic. And when you go to a hotel also you can choose. My mother is a Jain. She will choose only that food. And she will manage with whatever. Some places the sambar, Jain and all they don't give. So she will just eat idli and chutney. It is up to us. The point is, what do I want? If I say that no, I want this, for that this self-control is required, then I will make it happen. If there is absolutely no choice available at all for that one occasion or something, I can even go hungry. Usme kya hai? Why do I have to compromise and eat tamasic food and spoil? I won't. That clarity a seeker should have. So, 2 points, take up some tapas to overcome raga and dvesh. Vairagya and tapas go hand in hand. If a person says, I want to develop vairagya, but there is no tapasya in that person's life, vairagya will not come. Tapasya doesn't mean torture. Tapasya means this, to get out of my comfort zone. Tap means to burn. Raga is where my comfort zone. Dvesha also is a comfort zone. Because one doesn't want to forgive, comfortably one is hating that person. Get out of that comfort zone and forgive. So, take up some tapas to overcome raga and dvesh. And last one is do your duty choicelessly and selflessly. I may not like it, but I have to do it. This is my duty. Arjun doesn't like to kill his own people, but he has to do. I may not like a certain type of a thing that I am supposed to do, whether it is at my work, in my family, or even in spiritual life. But if this is my duty, Bhagwan has put me here, this is the role I have to do, I will do. And do it with dedication to Bhagwan. Not somehow grumbling, complaining, then that is not better than not doing, grumbling, complaining, you are still doing, but the sadhak attitude will be, I do it for Bhagwan. Just imagine Tapan Maharaj, no? He decided to renounce the world. And his father passed away. And his brother is young. 8 years he had to stay back in household life. Doing his duty. Imagine a person's mind who is ready to renounce the world. You and I feel like that if you have to go to see a movie and some guest lands up, we say, अरे कहाँ आ गया ये अभी? कब जाएगा भाई? मेरा time निकल रहा है. Just think, for simple, ordinary sense pleasure, and if somebody has, spoilt our plan, we feel so this thing. And he decided to renounce the world and pursue Brahman. And then he has to stay back in the world. Do his duties, earn the living, take care of the family, And he used to do it all in the spirit of selfless dedication to Bhagavan. And evening he used to go into Panchavati and sit and meditate there. 8 hours he used to be in Samadhi that time. Before renouncing the world also. That is Tapan Maharaj. So he did not allow circumstances to pull down his spiritual practices. He said, this also I will dedicate to Bhagavan. 8 years, not 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 8 years he lived like that. And the day his brother was ready to stand on his own feet, he said, bye-bye. Went. 17 years later they found him. He said, no need to come to search me or anything. 17 years later, the same brother found him in Uttarkashi, found out and then wrote a letter to him. And he writes to that brother saying that if there is anything which is spiritual that we have to discuss, you are welcome to be in touch with me. Otherwise, correspondence is not required. Why? Because his thinking is, what worldly talk, why will I entertain that? Renounced it. Khatam. For him, they all are spiritual sadhaks. Ask me anything spiritual, I will answer. Nothing more than that. That is. So what happened there? Dharmate virati jogate jnana. That's what Tulsidas ji says. Dharma will bring vairagya. So if I'm in a household life and I'm doing my duty, I have to evaluate. Did the duty bring me vairagya? If the duty did not bring vairagya, that means I am not doing my duty in a selfless way. If duty did not increase my devotion, then I am not doing my duty in a selfless way. There is some attachment. Otherwise, it will bring purity of mind, there is no doubt. And that will come only when I say that this I am dedicating it to Bhagavan. Only then it will come. Only doing duty as a duty is my duty. That's not Karma Yoga. But duty dedicated to Bhagavan is only Karma Yoga. That one has to remember. Then that's the simplest way to develop Vairagya. Swamiji, last one I choose. Baki sab chhod diya humne. You will see, it will not work like that. Because if raga and dvesh continues, I can't do my duty. If sense temptations continue, if I think I am this body, then I can't do my duty properly. Okay, so for today we will stop here. So all our Yajmans, we thank them. Mukhya Yajmans for the whole series. Tarana ji, Paragwag, Vandana ji, Bharat ji, Kalpana ji, Deepika ji. All the Aarti Yajmans for all the sessions. Hemant ji, Jyotsna ji, Jitra ji, Ajay Kasotia ji, Rajan ji, Ajay Merchant ji, Swati ji, you can come. Nalini ji, Jayashri ji, Nandita ji, Vaishali ji also can come to the Aarti. You are Aarti Yajman for all sessions. Vijaya ji, Dipti ji, Manjari ji. The Dainik Yajman for today, Shri Devi, Kartha, Kirit Vora and Geeta Mirchandani ji. And the Geeta Aarti Yajman for today is Rita Vishwanath ji. We invoke God's grace, Gurudev's blessings on the Yajmans, their families and everyone present. May Bhagavan bless us with these qualities of dispassion, of sense management, and may our mind turn within to steadily contemplate and realize the self. Om Tat Sat.
जय भगवद् गीते मया जय भगवद् गीते हरिः कमल विहारिणि सुंदर सुपुनीते ओम जय भगवद् गीते कर्म सुमर्म प्रकाशि कामासक्ति हरा तत्त्व ज्ञान विकाशिनी विद्या ब्रह्म परा ओम जय भगवद् गीते निश्चल भक्ति विधायिन निर्मल मलहारी शरण रहस्य प्रदायिनी सब विधि सुखकारी ओम जय भगवद् गीते रागद्वेषविधारिणि कारिणि मोद सदा भवभयहारिणि तारिणि परमानन्दप्रदा ॐ जय भगवद्गीते आसुरभावविनाशि नाशिनि तमरजनी दैवी सद्गुणदायिनि हरिरसिका सजनि ॐ जय भगवद्गीते समता त्याग सिखावन हरिमुख की बानी सकल शास्त्र की स्वामिनी श्रुतियों की रानी ॐ जय भगवद्गीते दया सुधा भर सावन मातु कृपा की जय हरिपद प्रेम दान कर अपनो कर लीजय ॐ जय भगवद्गीते ॐ न तत्र सूर्यो भान्ति न चन्द्रतारकं नेमा विद्युतो भान्ति कुतोऽयमग्निः तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वं तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति बोलिए सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय गीता मैया की जय भगवान की जय
ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्छते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ॐ